Sir, morning, sir. Sir, good morning.
In the last class, we started the second order effects. In the second order effects, the first one is body effect. What do you mean by body effect? Body effect is nothing but if the usually source and bulb both are connected at the same potential. If there is a potential mismatch, so in what direction means if bulb potential is just lower than the source potential, then what happened? So there may be a requirement of large threshold voltage. So that means the requirement of threshold voltage increases. Threshold voltage intermediate increases. Okay. So whenever with body effect, definitely we need more threshold voltage to establish the channel between the source and drive. Okay. So with the body effect, so definitely the threshold voltage formula, whatever the formula we have considered at the beginning, will change. So like, so I hope you understand. So this is the new threshold voltage formula. Yeah. The next one is channel length modulation. So about the channel length modulation, the concept is very clear that so whenever the drain potential increases in the saturation region, as you know, the pinch off will occur. So because in the channel length modulation, because of drain potential increases, okay, so the depletion layer existing between the drain and the substrate is increases, which will increases towards the source, so that the channel length which is existing between the source and drain earlier is reducing towards the source. And one more thing is, so generally the channel is uniform from source to drain whenever you have a equal potential between the source and gate and drain. So whenever you have a difference between the voltages from source to gate and gate to drain, then you won't get to uniform channel width. The width of channel is whatever be the at the source, Drain also same thing. So only the condition is what? If there is a potential difference between the source and gate and drain are same. If both are not same, okay, what happened? So generally, so from gate to drain is more than the source to gate. At this moment of time, the channel length is not uniform. It will be wider at the source, and when it goes to the drain, it becomes narrow. Okay. So at this moment of time, at this point of time, or in this scenario, if you are increasing the drain potential further, you are making that imbalance between the source and drain, source and gate and drain potentials. Then what happened? The inversion charges in the channel, inversion charges in the channel, QD becomes zero at the drain end. And the point is moving towards the source as the drain potential is increased. The reason is with the drain potential increases, which makes because source and bomb and what is it one body both are grounded together. So it becomes the body between the body and the drain, it becomes reverse bias. Reverse bias. Which makes that there is an improvement, there is an establishment and improvement of enhancement of the depletion region between the drain and the substrate. So which makes it that it becomes wider and wider with the drain potential increases more and more. So that is the reason. So therefore, in this scenario, the channel length, earlier it is L, now the channel length is reduces. What is the new channel length that I am taking as the L dash? L dash. L dash is nothing but original channel length. Earlier, what is the channel length? Minus delta, how much length has been changed. That is, this delta is nothing but very simple. That is the width of the depletion layer, which is established between the drain and the substrate. So, with this 1 by L dash, we can approximately, you can write as 1 plus lambda d VDS by L. Okay. So, whenever this whenever this factor is substituted in the what saturation drain current equation, saturation drain current equation, then what happened? So it becomes the equation is modified like this. See, earlier if you compare this equation 10 and 14, in this equation your drain current never depends on the your drain potential. Is independent of the drain potential. But once you have considered the channel length modulation, then again your drain current becomes it is dependent on the what drain potential radius. So with this, I think you can understand one thing. Earlier, because your drain current is not depends on the drain potential. Okay, in the saturation region, you have a flat constant curves, okay, which are not having, which are having a zero slope. But now, again, as VDS depends on the VDS, as VDS is increases, your drain current also increases. So that slightly it is improved. So that now some slope is there in the saturation, in the every characteristic curve having some slope in the saturation region also. So that is the change we have found in the drain current equation. So in the due to the channel length modulation. Okay. So this is also we have to studied it, and because of the channel length modulation, the channel length, whatever the equations, whatever the parameters, okay, they depends on the channel length. So definitely they will change now here. So even though GM value earlier, so it is a L dash, okay, now it is a substitute L dash as the approximation, then the GM equation becomes like this. So this is the, see this characteristic, if you see, observe this characteristic, the saturation region, what happened? So earlier we will get this curve, this dotted line, we will get in the saturation, dotted lines. So for this dotted line, the slope is 0 because there is no change in y. Okay, there is change in only x. The slope is nothing but change in y by change in x. The change in y is 0 and change in x is something. But so because the numerator is 0, the slope becomes 0. But now, see, with the channel length modulation, again your drain current is depends on the this VDS. Then there is a small improvement is like this. That means there is a for every change in virtual x, there must be a change in y. There must be a change in y. So that is the what. So this is that is the I think, but what the slope is not 0 here. Here slope is not 0. So that is the one point we must be noticed down. This is the suppose if you take this one. Yeah, this is the change in x, this is the change in y. So there is a slope. So with this approximation, what happened? So definitely all the equations which are depends on the channel length will change. So the last one, what is it one? Second order effect. Suppose we have a second order effects, but in this module or in this at present we are discussing only three. One is the body effect, one more is the channel length modulation, one more is the subthreshold conduction or subthreshold region. Okay. So if you take, I will show one characteristic curve. So yeah, this is. If you take this, so this is the drain current versus gate to source voltage. So this is the one characteristic curve. One characteristic curve. If you observe this curve, what happened? So generally, ideally, what we are speaking with the when we are talking about the operation of the MOSFET is, so MOSFET will conduct whenever this gate potential is more than the threshold. Otherwise, you can say the MOSFET is off when VGS is less than. These are the conditions we are approximately. What is that one? Your device will turn on. Your device will turn on when when your VGS is gate to source potential is greater than VTH. Greater than VTH. So device is on. When your VGS is less than VTH, your device is off. So this is the ideal. What we are speaking when we are talking about the device operation. But now, so whenever we are coming to the subthreshold conduction, it means so your device should be on for this region and off for this region. This is the approximation. But now, since if you observe these characteristics, so from this characteristic, we can understand one thing. Even though whenever your VGS is less than duration, generally in this duration, your VGS is less than the VTH. Let us see. This some current is flowing in the device. Whatever the current is flowing, okay. So when this condition is considered, this current is called the subthreshold current. Subthreshold current. Subthreshold current. Okay, and moreover, so and this operation already we have your diode or your transistor or your MOSFET is working in the what? So cutoff region, saturation region, and triode region. But one more reason is subthreshold region. So when the device is operating in this region, particularly in this region, or the device is working with the voltage gate potential which is less than the threshold voltage of the particular device, then you can say it is a subthreshold conduction of operation. Subthreshold conduction of operation or sub-regime. Sub-regime. Clear or not? So we are now concentrating on this one. The earlier definition of the threshold voltage is the voltage at which the device will start conduction. Now, with this consideration, we can change our definition in different way. What? From these characteristics, you can understand one thing. So whenever you can define the threshold voltage in point in that way. That means, so whenever the point at which your exponential and square law asymptotic lines are joined is called the threshold voltage. So here is, so this dotted line is the asymptotic. This dotted line is the asymptotic. Yeah. Asymptotic exponential line. Okay. And this is the square law line. These two are joining at this point. And the corresponding voltage you can say, you can define as the threshold voltage of the particular device. So the definition of the threshold voltage is changed because of subthreshold conduction consideration. Okay. So in the subthreshold region, so what is the device operating? See here. So this is the subthreshold current formula. Here forget all the things and keep and remember only VGS, this VGS and this subthreshold current. So remaining all you should forget about them. Then your current subthreshold current is proportional to the E power VGS minus VTH. But this value, this value VGS minus VTH value is negative or positive? Negative, because your VGS value is less than the VTH for the subthreshold conduction. So that this is negative. So E power negative. So that I'm talking about. So this is the here in this region, in subthreshold region, your drain current is exponentially depends on the gate potential. Exponential depends on the gate potential. This is the square law. Square law. In this region, already you know what is the drain current formula? ID is equal to 1 by 2 UN COX W by L into VGS minus VTH whole square. So for the from the subthreshold current, sorry, saturation current, we can conclude that in this region, your drain current is proportional to the square of the gate potential. Square of the gate potential. That means square law. Okay, in the subthreshold region, it depends on the exponential form. So whereas in the subthreshold region, sorry, saturation region, it is a square law. Means it depends on the square of the gate potential. So that's why I am showing two things. One is the expression curve, one more is the, so means this curve is nothing but, so your drain current is depends on the gate potential either exponentially or as a square. Yeah. So anyhow, so here is the very important thing is, so the operation of the device in this particularly in this region is very important. Now the research is in this direction. So because, so here the potential you are applying to make the device on is very small. When you are taking the less potential to switch on the device, that is called the low voltage operating device. And your power consumption is proportional to the scale of the supply voltage. So generally lower voltage supply voltage means lower power distribution. These are the benefits. And one more thing is the switching speed. The switching speed of this particularly this reason is not problems. And subthreshold current, if you take this subthreshold current, is nothing but we can say it's a reverse current. Okay. So but I have actually earlier in the last 2 decades, the subthreshold current is the generally it is a undesirable factor. Yeah, this parameter is not required. So we are trying to keep as much as well this parameter. So because those days long channel devices rules in the long channel devices definitely subthreshold current is the one of the side effects. But when it comes to the short channel devices, of course, this subthreshold current is much more in the short channel devices. It's very important, very It is at fast rate. Yeah. So whenever the designer is going to design a particular device, okay, so generally he is concentrating on the generally low power devices. Low power means the devices which must consume the low power. So that all the low power designs are concentrating towards the reduction of the static current because there is a dynamic and static power consumption. So dynamic power consumption is nothing but when the device is working, whatever the power is consuming is called the dynamic power consumption. When it comes to the static power consumption, so when the device is in the this is the off reason. Am I correct or not? So this is the off reason. In this reason, whenever you are talking about the device is off, so what you are feeling, the device will not flow any current. Okay, that's why. So the current is power is also there. But so because from this current, it is clear that there is a current. There is a current, definitely. So because of that current, some power is consuming. That power is that amount of power is so not usable, not useful. Okay, when the device is working, this is usable for whatever the power consumption, consume it, no problem. When the device is in the sleep mode, so I think I need generally zero. Yeah. So like that, we have a dynamic power consumption and static power consumption, two options we have. So, but the static power is it is a requirement. Okay, it is a we can say it's a side effect. So we need to reduce it. So that's why before 2 or 3 decades, all the research engineers or design engineers, everybody is working towards the reduction of the power whenever the device is in the sleep mode. Sleep mode means what? You can say the condition that your device voltage threshold, your device gate voltage is less than the threshold. But later what happened? So because this, earlier one more, that means there are so many factors which constitute us. There are so many factors or what is it components which will together contributes the flow of the static current. How many components are there in the static current? Static current. So one is the one is the substitution current, one more is the gate tunneling current, and one more is the Dibble. So like this, there are so many components which will create the total static current. Understand? So out of them, generally what we are considering, suppose whenever you want to design or you want to reduce one factor, there are so many factors are there to reduce the effective value of the factor. Definitely you should concentrate on the which will produce more value. So out of all these, okay, out of all these components, you got so the components which are contributing the static current. So out of all the components, which one is the major share? Major share is gate tunneling current. Gate tunneling current. Yeah. So and later after that, so definitely this fellow, because this fellow is expression depends on the VC. For small VC, there is a lot of change in the drain current. So obviously, first one is the gate tunneling current, which have major show, and later this one, and remaining all the things are all the other components are having very less impact. Less impact. So that what to do? So then research people are more concentrated more on the how to reduce the gate tunneling or gate leakage current. Yeah. So for that, generally what happens? They have found. So they have tried many what is the term techniques, but everyone is failed. Okay. Finally, they came to the conclusion that the what the gate tunneling current, gate tunneling current means gate tunneling current is nothing but so generally the carriers which are emitted from the source, they must reach the drain over the channel. That is a scenario that is called the gate current. So that's called the device current. So whenever, but because of the oxide thickness, whatever presented between the poly and the substrate, So whenever the thickness of the gate oxide, that's called the oxide layer, that must increase the lowering thickness based on the scaling effect. What happened? Instead of the carrier is flowing from source to drain, in the channel, it was trapped by the gate terminal. So that instead of going to the drain, it is going towards the drain. That is called the gate leakage or gate tunneling. The amount of the gate tunneling, I told you, is much more than this substitution. So first, the research people are, so they worked on over the gate leakage. So they came to the conclusion that, so instead of whenever you are going to the downstream of the transistor, so whatever the silicon dioxide, okay, you have taken as the insulator material between the gate and the substrate, which will shows the cool properties. So the instead of the silicon dioxide, take another material that is called the high K material. High dielectric constant materials. So that is better than the better and control the gate leakage current. So they came to the conclusion and they close the tissue. So next, once with the issue of the gate leakage or the tunneling current issue closed, then what is the next one? Suppression. This fellow now what produces the major share in the static current. So then they started to over this one, how to reduce the suppression current. But later, when the device is going to be sinking, so every year, what happened? So the people are trying to take the advantage of this reason of operation instead of considering as a what? It is a issue. The people start to forget, okay, about this as an issue, and they are trying to take this as the advantage. So because of that advantage, what happened? Now every device is. So they are trying to operate in the particularly in this reason. In this reason. What is this reason is called? Suppose that if the device is operating in this reason, it's called the what? Suppression reason of operation. So the current in this reason is called the suppression current. Now we are trying to operate the device. So in this region, and this is the C. If you take this one, if you take this curve, this is the change in VGS. This is the corresponding change in the what? ID change and VGS change. This is called the slope. If this slope is more, then device will switch on fast. See, here is the slope is very less. So that the device is slowly, that means device switching speed is slow. Low. Switching speed is low. Means what is the switching speed? Device should go from off to on to off. That is called the speed of the device. The switching speed of this device is slow. To improve the switching speed, what should we do? So we need to keep this slope as much as high as possible. As much high as possible. So then suppose this is the characteristic. If you pull this characteristic like this side, then definitely this bending will move, we will expand in this direction. Then this becomes like this. Am I correct or not? Then the slope becomes improved. So that is called the one of the purpose. So in that way, the people are trying, the research people are trying to improve the what? Switching characteristics of the device. Switching characteristics means faster devices. Faster devices. So fast on to off to on. Yeah. So okay, anyhow, what is this 80 millivolts and what is this? This is the log ID. Log ID. What is this? So let me tell you an example. Suppose VTH value is 0.3 volts for a device. The drain current decreased by only a factor of 10 power 3.75 when VGS reduced. It means what is the change in what is the change in drain current for this particular. So earlier, what is the VTH point? So to reduce this VTH point to zero value, how much amount of your drain current should change? So generally, if you see this characteristics, so you are moving this direction. Don't think you are going this direction. I am talking about you should go to operate your device. So as possible lower this means this side you are trying. So whenever you are trying this side, definitely your drain current value is decreasing, not increasing. So you are talking about from here to here, then you should consider from here to here. You are going from here to here means you are moving from here to here means definitely. So your drain current is moving like this direction. Okay. Confirm? Yes. So what is the why I am talking about log ID? Generally, the change in ID value in this particular in this region is very small. It's very small. So of course, we cannot show in the normal scale. Okay. To show it, okay, and we can for observer to observe clearly the variation. So definitely normal scale is not used. In the normal scale, we cannot get the difference. We cannot find any difference. So that what to do? So they are taking the log ID. So log ID values, logarithmic scale, if you consider the logarithmic scale, for small values also, variation also, it can show the large deviations. That is the why we need to know, we need to understand the clear picture, the clear scenario, how the drain current is varying with respect to the what gate potential. So that's why the y-axis is the instead of ID, drain current. Earlier we considered as the ID, now it is a log ID. Understood? Because we are very interesting about this region of operation. So in this operation, in this region of operation, so the amount of change in the drain current with respect to the gate potential of the threshold value, we cannot find exactly because the small variation you cannot catch it up. So that's why the scale has changed to that. And one more thing, how can you define this one here? How can you define this? See, my point of view, one more here is suppose if you tell how to find this value, this is 10 power 0.3 by 0.3 by. So what is the this value? Slope value 80 millivolts. 80 milli. So that is the 0.3 by 80 milli is equal to this value. Okay. Now see, if a transistor carries about 1 microampere for VGS, which means here, I think, is the VTH value. So at this moment, suppose if you operate the device here, exactly here. So yeah, what is your VGS? Same thing, both are same. So what is the transistor carrying current? 1 microamperes. Suppose such devices are, how many are there in 100 million of such devices are there in the circuit? 100 similar devices are working in the circuit. Each device carries this much amount of current at this point of time. At this point of time. So then, totally this 100 million of transistors, how much amount of current is they are drawing if they are working in the same potential? So 18 milliamperes current is. So that means they are consuming 18 milliamperes of current when they are in the off mode, switch off mode. So we are talking about this is switch off mode. Okay, this is more 18 milliamperes current is very okay. So then, if the device conducts for VGS less than the VTH value, then we can okay. How can you define the threshold voltage? Already I told you what is it from the intersection point of exponential and square law curves. Which curves? Asymptotic curves is the new definition of the threshold voltage for the device. Okay. Yeah. Yes, it is there. One possibility is explored. on a logarithmic vector space, the weak inversion and strong inversion characteristics and consider their intercept voltage as threshold. Just that is all. So now, how can you define this one? So my definition is here. How much threshold voltage, okay, or how much VGS should be reduced or should change? How much gate voltage must be changed to reduce your drain current 1 decade? This is what VG, gate potential. You are changing the gate potential to find the what? Decay rate of or downfall of your drain current for 1 decade. So generally in the Bode plots, we are using the decay. Decay means 10 points, 10 divisions. Okay. For a change in, because I told you drain current variation is very small. So that particular change of drain potential, the drain current, how much variation of the gate potential is required? That is called the subthreshold slope. This is called the slope. We are talking about this slope. This is the slope. This slope is called the subthreshold slope. Subthreshold slope. What is the definition of subthreshold slope? The amount of VC change is required to decrease to fall the rate of ID, log ID for that 1 thing. I hope you understand. So it is possible to achieve an arbitrary highly transconductance by increasing the W while maintaining the ID constant. So it is one of the possibilities. Generally, the speed of the transistors depends on the transconductance. If the transconductance high, speed is high. But if you observe the transconductance formula, GM is equal to, forget about all the remaining things, W by, where W is the width of the channel or width of the device or channel. So in the equation, so GM is proportional to the equation, GM is proportional to the. So GM is proportional to the W by L. How to improve the GM? So by increasing the W value. You can't touch the L value because L is fixed for a technology. Length is fixed for a technology. So that you have no option. So only one option is the W value. If W is increases, your transconductance increases, thereby switching speed is increased. Switching speed. But if what happened if W value is increases? W value is increasing, but you are increasing the device size. This is against the rule of scaling. Scaling means what? Come down. So device geometry or dimensions must be reduced. But here, what I am suggesting you, I am suggesting you to improve the W value for improving the transconductance. So I'm not right. Okay, I am also wrong because this is not the correct way. So what is the transconductance of the mass device operating in the substitution region? Okay, it is possible to obtain higher transconductance than that of the BZT. Okay, of course, GM value is more compared to the GM value for the MOSFET is more than the transistor. So we know the transconductance of a square law region. Square law region means what? Saturation region. So this is the formula. GM is equal to 2ID by VGS minus VH. We already derived as the 11th equation in this module. So if W increases, what happened? So while ID remains constant, make the ID constant. If W increases, then what? GM is increases. That is the earlier conclusion. So when VGS is what? Approaching the VTH value or below the VTH value, then the device enters the saturation region. Yes, correct. So I can change this GM value like this. GM is nothing but what? Change in ID by change in VC. Change in, okay. This time I can write like this. So because now your VT means VTH. Or you can say this is the what delta ID means. GM is equal to delta VC. You can say right VC as also, no problem. Yeah. Okay. So ID by neta VT. Okay. Or VD, VG, sorry, is equal to 2 ID by VGS minus VTH 1. What is the meaning of VGS minus VTH? Earlier this is, but there is difference. This is square law. Square law means after VTH. This is below VTH. So that I'm considering this as the VGS minus VTH 1. This value is definitely much more less than this value. So yeah, this is the, if you do the cross multiplication, what happens? This ID cancel. Okay, then this is equal to VGS minus VTH1 is equal to what? 2 times the neta voltage VG. Exponential independence of ID upon VGS in substitution operation may suggest that the use of mass devices in this region so as to achieve higher. That is one more benefit. GM can be high because this is the GM equation. This is going to be reducing. Whenever the what numerator less, whatever the effective value becomes 4. Okay. So GM is high in the sufficient conduction region. Got it? Understand? Why? So earlier this effect, suppose VGS may be a 2 volts and VTH 1 volts. This effective value is 1 volt. But now, so VGS is less than this fellow, maybe or equal. Okay. Suppose already I told you VTH has 1. Now it's maybe a what 0.9. What is the difference? 0.9 minus 1 minus 0.01 minus 0.01. So this is the, so now this value is less. So definitely your GM is. So however, since such conditions are met only by large device width, so I am talking about large device, means W value is more, or low drain current. So the speed of the substitution circuit is severely limited. I told you, speed is this. The speed of the device is very low, particularly when the device is operating. This is the side effect. Yeah. So, and one more thing, I told you about yes, I told you about this one, the curve. Go to the curve. So VC versus ID, log ID. Okay. So what is the final conclusion? There is a subthreshold slope. Subthreshold slope. How can you measure the amount of how much amount of VG needs to change to find the ID, log ID fall rate of 1 minute. Here is this, I think there is a 80 millivolts is the suppression slope value, 80 millivolts. Okay. So what is the 80 millivolts? How you got this ideal value, suppression. So swing. Ideal value is 80 millivolts. Generally, we need to make it as minimum as possible. As minimum as possible. What one? That subthreshold swing value. Okay, generally, what is the one? Logarithmic of. So, change in logarithmic of ID by, so change in VDS, VGS or VG. So, how to find this change? This change value, generally, there is a two things we have to define here. So, I think one is the subthreshold slope, one more is the subthreshold swing. Slope and swing. Slope means change in y by change in x. Swing means reciprocal of the slope. We must require higher slope and lower swing. High slope and low swing. High slope means high speed. Low swing means also high speed. Here I am talking about 80 millivolts is the suppression swing value. This is ideal. So, but what is the requirement? Higher swing value or lower swing value? Lower swing value is required. Okay. So nowadays the devices are trying to design, okay, implement with the subscription swing of less of the, that means 30 millivolts per decade, 30 millivolts per decade, okay, and even lesser than 70. So means high speed. So if the slope is high, the slope is high. See, this is the slope is high. Suppose this is my characteristic. This is one curve. This is one more curve. So if you see this slope and this slope, okay, if you observe these two curves, the slope is more for this curve. So means slope more means what? The device is quickly goes from off state to on state. Here, the device is slowly going from off state to on state. I told you the slope is nothing but what? It measures the speed. Speed. One more thing. So these are the, I hope you understood that all these three are the second order effects or short channel effects. Okay. So next one is mass device models. Okay. So in this topic, we need to discuss mass device layout. Okay. And mass device capacitances. Small signal model of the mass device and spice models. So NMOS versus PMOS devices. That means which one is better, which shows the superiority, which shows the inferiority. And finally, we need to discuss about what is the long channel versus short channel. Generally, whatever the things we have defined here, the channel modulation or short voltage effect or suppressor conduction, body effect, all these we cannot find or cannot see in the long channel devices. So all these will be, we can find in the short channel devices. So I told you one point. So let us say 100 nanometer L. If more than L is greater than 100 nanometers, then you can consider it as a long channel device. If it is less than the 100 nanometers, you can treat it as a short channel device. So today's every device is a short channel, it's not long channel device. So because they have the short term devices means what? What is the advantage means? Because the compact what sizes of the device. The compact size of the device will results the what? Makes the more what density of the chip. More density of the chip. That is. So these things we will discuss. First come to the mass device layout. What is the layout? For a particular transistor. So layout is nothing but you must draw the circuit with mass layers and design layers. I hope in the UC, your basic realization design subject, you understood that what is the layout, what is the schematic, what is the stick. For the schematic, whatever the circuit you are seeing, all those are called the schematics. CMOS inverter, NMOS inverter, whatever things we are seeing, we are observing, all of the schematics. Okay. So then finally, before going to the fabrication, so fabrication people require layouts of the circuit of device. Layout is what? The same schematic can be represented in terms of the mass layers with the geometrical rules. Design rules. What do you mean by design rules? What is the minimum size of, what is the minimum width of the mass layer? What's the minimum width of the NMOS or N diffusion layer, poly layer, metal layer? What is the minimum width? You should maintain that. Don't go beyond that. You can go above that. Don't go beyond that. What is the minimum space between the two layers? So whenever it is required to overlap two layers, how much overlap should be required? What is the contactor size? What is the wire size? Suppose if you go for the buried contact or butting contacts, so what is the sizes? So all we are talking about the minimum sizes, not maximum. Maximum you can put it, but you should not go. You cannot go because if you increase the sizes, then what happened? Whatever the scaling benefits, you cannot get it. So you have a constraint. That's why you're not talking about the maximum values. We're talking about minimum values. So if you go beyond that values, definitely you will get a issues. So that keep all the design rules and draw the schematic. In terms of the mass layers, choosing of these design rules is called the layout. The conversion of layout or drawing of the layout for a specific circuit is very difficult. Suppose any engineer working on the drawing of the layouts is called the his designation is known as designing layout engineer. Schematic. I told you what are the circuit diagrams we have so far. Mass numbers. These are called schematics. Schematic. So for the schematic, suppose input is applied, so we get some output. We can find the response of a schematic. So either transient response or DC response or AC response. All the responses you can find for the schematic. So whatever the analysis you have done earlier in different EDC or something subjects, all these are the schematic responses. So whenever you are converting the schematic into the layout, again you should do the same analysis like transient analysis, DC analysis, and AC analysis. Whatever the responses you got now, I compare with the earlier for the schematic, whatever the response you got, compare them. That is called the LVS, layout versus schematic. Layout versus schematic. What the points are that? So this is the anyhow mass layouts of the circuit for the device or the last step in the design and inputs for the fabrication. Last step in the design cycle. That's final. Nothing is there after that. Okay. So these are the inputs of the fab. Okay. So yeah, that is the layout. What I told you, layout definition. Layout is nothing but a schematic can be represented in terms of the mass layers, including the design rules. This circuit is known as the what? Layout. Okay. See, this is the layout of a mass transistor. This is the top view. This is the top view, and this is the cross section view. So from the top, this is the source, this is the drain, and this is the gate. This is what source? This is the drain, and this is the gate. Okay, so this is the source and drain. So this is what oxide layer, and this is the gate. What is it? As I explained earlier, so definitely your gate length is more than here. What is the gap between source and drain? So that is the earlier we call it as a what? This portion and this portion is nothing but the what? Side wall diffusion. Because of side wall diffusion, the gap between the source and drain is not equal to the what physical length of the gate. Physical length of the gate. Not equal. So what is the L effect is equal to L minus 2 LD. That is the formula we were used in the beginning. Okay. So here, this is the source region, this is the drain region. Okay. This is the length of the channel. This is the length of the channel. This is the length of the channel. And this is the width of the channel. This is the width. So this is the gate length is nothing but channel length. And this is the width of the channel. W is the width of the channel. This is the W. This is the width of the channel. So this is the width and this is the length. Length is nothing but gap between the source and drain. And width is nothing but what? So it is a perpendicular to the channel. Okay. So, and what is this black square cuts? These are the contact cuts. The contact cut is nothing but open the some portion of the material and fill it with the some metal. This is a layer, maybe source layer. Somewhere we can open, okay, make it some holes and fill it with the some metal. Because this contact cuts plays a role to connect this layer or this circuit with other circuit. For that, so what to do? So make some one or more possible contact cuts and fill in the material and then it is easy to what make a contact from this contactor to other. So that's why. So I have taken here for the drain region two contactors, for the source on two contactors to get the electrical connection, to establish the electrical connection between this device and other device, or this layer to the other layer. Okay, so two are required. I'm not confused. I'm not going to confuse anything. Two or one or more we can put it. To make it facility to use more number of contactors. So what happened? Your width of the device. So see, is the width of the device is much more higher. That means you can change. You have a provision to change your width, but you don't have any provision to change the length, because for a technology only is a fixed value. You have no choice. Okay, so this is the W value. You can what map? You can you can take the W value as possible as your requirement. So based on the number of contractors you have to assign. Here is I took the two contractors for the drain region. Similarly for the two for the source. And this is the gate. The gate is extended. See like this. So here one more thing. If you see this cross-section view. These are the contacts I told you, same thing he is explaining. This is the gate contact. So maybe this gate can be joined to the another gate of another device. Maybe in the, for example, if you take the CMOS inverter, in the CMOS inverter we have two transistors. One is the PMOS transistor, one is the NMOS transistor. There if you see the schematic circuit, the two gates, gate of the PMOS and NMOS are both are tied together. Generally to make a drawing. So maybe this gate contactor may be helping. Okay. See, so this type of structure, this is the layout of course. Okay, this layout, suppose this is known as the bird's eye. Bird's eye. See, this is look like a bird eye. This is the bird eye view of the NMOS layout. NMOS bird's eye. So I think when you are seeing this picture, I think you will understand that it is a border. And this is the vertical view of the mass transistor. This is the vertical view, and this is the bird's eye. So one more thing. Suppose if you take W by L is chosen to such a transfer. Yes. GM is mentioned, I told you W by L. So all other circuit parameters, while the minimum L is dictated by the process. Okay, L is fixed. Only W values in your hand. So in addition to this gate, the source and drain areas must be defined properly as in the layout I'm talking about. So gate polysilicon and source and drain regions terminals must be tied to metal. Okay. So why that such that interconnects as with low resistance. So generally, this is source, drain, and gate. Is all these regions must be connected to the what? So VDD and ground. Okay, VDD and ground to supply. Suppose if you take the NMOS, suppose CMOS inverter. In the CMOS inverter, source of the NMOS transistor should be grounded, connected to the ground metal. Okay, and source of the PMOS is connected to the supply VDD. Okay, and both the gates are joined together and given to the input supply, and drain of the PMOS and the drain of the NMOS are tied together and taken as the output. In this, the terminal is connected to the metals. That may be a supply or that may be a ground. I don't know. So these are cards. So every source, every layer should have a permission, provision to connect them with the metal layers. So that means supply rails. You can say supply rails. They can run. They can what is it called? Carries voltage or zero potential or voltage 3 volts or a clock signal. If it's a digital, you can say it's a clock signal. They're carrying. So these layers must be connected to the what? the supply rates, I can say supply rates. So whenever the supply rates are connected to this one, you need to have a provision to connect these layers to the supply rates. So generally we are using the aluminum contacts to join with the supply rates. These are whatever the wires you are taking, you are considering to connect the source, drain, and gate. Okay, what are the layers with the metal layers or supply layers? They are called the interconnects. Interconnects. So whatever the interconnects you are using, they must be having low resistance and low capacitance. So because when the R value is low and C value is low, then the delay is also low. Delay is but R is time constant. Yeah. So if they are not low, these are not low. What happened? From source to supply, or from drain to supply, or from source to ground, or drain to ground, or gate to the supply, it takes some time to feed the signal. So I think it is undesirable parameter. So that whatever the interconnects you are using to join the layers with the metal rates or supply rates, okay, whatever the material you are using, that must be having minimum resistance and minimum capacitance as possible. Okay, understand or not? The reasons are there for everything. Keep the capacitance of the layer and keep the resistance of the interconnects should be low as possible. So whenever you are doing like that, then the speed of the device is again increases. Circuit again increases. To accomplish this, one or more contact windows, okay, must be opened in each region, filled with metal and connected to the upper. So this is the contactors we are keeping. So for suppose we take the more wire to join this source to the metal. More wire means more length. More length means R is equal to L by A. If L is increases, distance is increased. That is one of the big disadvantages. So that you need to keep that as low as possible. For that, what to do? Contact cursor will help. So suppose the source usually is having some contact cut. So then from here to here, with a less metal, so the length can be increased. So note, gate poly extends beyond the channel length, channel area by some amount to ensure the reliable definition of the edge of the process. Yeah, I'm talking about this one. What is this? These two fellows, what I told you here, side wall diffusion. I'm talking about. Yes. To minimize the capacitance of source and drain, the total area of the each junction must be minimized. How to reduce the capacitance of source and drain junctions? What is the meaning of source and drain junction? Source and drain can establish the capacitance effect with other layers. So, for example, if you take this transistor, this is the source. This source and this is the substrate. Source and substrate having some capacity. Source and gate having some capacity. Source and channel also having some capacity. Okay. So, like that, there is so many capacities forming unnecessarily, and those are called the parasitic capacities. Parasitic capacities. So our aim is to minimize all these capacities. They form nobody can avoid this formation. But so as our duty is to minimize them as possible as. Next one is that is the layout. Next one is mask device capacities. So generally, how many terminals mask devices are having? 4 terminals. One is the gate, bulb, source, and drain. So each 2 pair of terminals definitely forms a capacitance. So I think you already studied in the UC in the electronic devices circuits. So whenever 2 contact leads are separated with the air as the dielectric medium, it can show the capacitance. Suppose here is the one metal, here is one metal is there. So between these 2 metals, if nothing is there, it will be occupied space. Correct? So here is a dielectric medium. So this entire can act as a capacitor. Like that, see, this is the gate, this is the drain. So the capacitance between the drain and gate is CGD, gate to drain capacitance. This is the gate to source, C, gate to source capacitance. Okay, so drain to body capacitance, source to body capacitance. Here and here, so here and here. Gate and what? Bulk. So gate to bulk capacitance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 capacitance. With the leads I'm talking about. With the contact leads. You have a 4 contact leads. So with that, so there may be a 5 capacitance. Here, even though something is there or nothing is there. So definitely, if you, so between the drain and gate terminals, nothing is there, air is there, so that it can be. Capacitance exists between every 2 of the 4 terminals of the MOSFET, and their values depends on the bias conditions of the transistor. Bias conditions. What are the bias conditions? So the supplies, okay, VCC, VDD, and of course gate, drain, and source terminals. At what potential they are connected. Based on that, so these capacitance values can be changed. Definitely, the amount of capacitance of each capacitor which present between the 2 terminals values depends on the voltages of the terminals. Oxide capacitance between the gate and the channel. Gate and channel. What is in between the gate and channel? Oxide. So that is called the oxide capacitance. COX. We know that. So depletion capacitance between the channel and the substrate. Between the channel and substrate, there is a depletion capacitance, because as we discussed about the channel formation, there is a source and drain, it is there. So with the suitable gate potential, so I told you that, so accumulation, depletion, and inversion will take place. So as the inversion layer is existing between the source and drain, the depletion layer is going down. Okay, so that the depletion layer have a, it is a dielectric material. So above there is the inversion layer, that is the one electrode, and the bottom there is substrate, that is one metal. So that is the what? Depletion capacitance. So capacitance due to the overlap of gate body with the source and drain. As I told you earlier, here in this picture, if you see this picture, see this is the gate and this is the source. These two are overlapped in this region. So that one capacitance is forming between this gate and the source. Similarly here, gate and drain, one more capacitance is forming. So capacitance due to the overlap of the gate body is nothing but C2. This is the C1 capacitance. You can say oxide capacitance as the C1, and depletion capacitance is C2. And this gate overlapping with the source and drain is C3 and C4. Overlap capacitance per unit length is COB, overlap. Okay. So then this is the gate capacitance formula is oxide capacitance is COX and WL, C1. Then C2 is the square root of this is the depletion quantities, and so this is the C3 C4 is not equal to, that means finding the or measuring the value of the C3 and C4 source with the gate, drain with the gate is not so easy. So that's why I'm that means writing like this. Yeah, see this one. See this one. This is the oxide. This is the polysilicon. Sorry, this is the polysilicon. This is the oxide. This is the inversion layer. This is the depletion layer. Okay. So source and substrate, there is a capacitance C5. Drain and substrate, there is a capacitance that is C6. And this is the gate and source C3. Gate and drain C4. C1 oxide capacitance. C2 depletion capacitance. You know the C1 value, you know the C3, C2 value, and C3, C4 doesn't have any simple equations. And this is the C5 and C6, one more thing. This C5 is again divided, C5 again divided in 2 parts. One is the CJ and one more is the CJSW. CJ means junction capacitance and this is the sidewall capacitance. Sidewall capacitance. Yes. So the junction capacitance between the source and drain areas and the substrate, and no simple formulas for the C5 and C6 also. C5 and 6 is each decomposed into the two components. One is the junction capacitance CJ, and one more is the what? Sidewall capacitance JSW. Okay. So the formula for the CJ, generally CJ will measure capacitance per unit area. Capacitance per unit area. Similarly, the sidewall capacitance can be measured with the what is that one? Capacitance per unit length. This is unit length, that is unit area. Okay. So CJ is equal to CJ 0 by 1 plus VR by 5B power n. So this is the formula for the CJ. So CJ depends on the junction area, but CJSW depends on the what? Perimeter of the junction. Perimeter of the junction. Yeah. So this is the capacitance values. But how to find those values? How the capacitance values are varies depending on the device operation. So device operation can be decided by the terminal voltages. Terminal voltages. Am I correct? Yes, biasing voltages. As I said earlier, the values of all these capacitors are depends on the biasing values. So that's why now in the next class we'll see what is the capacitance value for each region of operation. Each region of operation is for every region the potential of the all these terminals changes. With that, so definitely the value of the capacitance also changes. So what is the variation of those capacitances with respect to the terminal potentials, or that is called the what I told you, region of operation. So thank you. I will stop here. So if you have any doubt, please. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Sir,
Hmm.
this capacitance is required.